Hey guys, I've been living in Osaka for a few years now, and when I first came to Japan, I expected to learn about Japanese culture, the language, the customs, and the food. But what I didn't expect was how much I've learned from another group of people quietly living alongside me here, the Vietnamese community. I didn't come to Japan looking for Vietnam, but somehow I found myself between two very different worlds. And both taught me something I didn't know I needed to learn. When I first arrived in Japan, everything felt incredibly clean, organized, polite. It was almost like stepping onto a stage. The people, the trains, the stores, everything moved with a quiet precision. But even though I was surrounded by people, I often felt alone, not because anyone was rude, far from it, but because in Japanese culture, everything is unspoken, formal, distant. People don't talk to strangers easily. Everyone keeps to themselves. It's like you're watching a performance, but you're not part of the cast. And I get it. That's how things work here. But for someone new, especially someone who doesn't speak perfect Japanese, it can feel like you're stuck between an invisible wall. At first, I didn't even realize how many Vietnamese people lived in Osaka, but over time, through everyday interactions, students I've taught, and just walking around certain neighborhoods, I started to notice. Vietnamese signs, restaurants, grocery shops, karaoke bars filled with music and laughter, groups of friends packed into restaurants, eating, drinking, singing, the atmosphere buzzing with energy. It wasn't the kind of quiet night out you usually see with Japanese locals. It felt livelier, more expressive, almost like the room itself was part of the celebration. And on certain holidays, especially Vietnamese national days, the community really shows up. You suddenly realize how many people are out there, connected, proud, and present. And that's when I started noticing the differences, not in a judgmental way, but just observing. Japanese culture is deeply respectful, structured, and rule-based. Vietnamese culture, at least here in Osaka, feels warmer, more direct, and more emotionally open. When Japanese people help each other, it's often through a system, forms, rules, quiet efficiency. When Vietnamese people help each other, it's more personal. Phone calls, invitations, someone showing up at your door with food. Neither is better, but they feel very different when you're stuck in between. And as someone who isn't Japanese or Vietnamese, I felt like I didn't truly belong in either world. But I've also had moments where I felt accepted by both. From Japanese people, I learned patience, discipline, and how to respect space. From Vietnamese people, I've learned how important it is to stay connected, to look out for each other, even in a foreign country. The Vietnamese community here often support each other in ways that go unnoticed. They create their own system, their own little networks, and even though there's a language barrier between us, their action speaks loud and clear. I never expected to learn so much about Vietnam by living in Japan. Living between these two worlds has been a strange but beautiful experience. And even though I don't perfectly fit into either, I've come to see that you don't have to. Sometimes just being there, watching, listening, learning is enough. And honestly, I feel lucky because thanks to both communities, Japanese and Vietnamese, I've seen two different ways people care for each other, and both have made me a better person. Thanks for listening to my story. If you ever felt like you're living between two cultures or learning from people different from you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy this, consider subscribing. I share more stories like this, honest experiences from life here in Japan, and sometimes the unexpected things I learn along the way. See you next time.